The tragic terrorism incident in Notre Dame Basilica Church in Nice, France this week reminds us of the need to be vigilant in our house of worship here in America. 3 people killed at the church by a 21-year-old wielding a knife shouting, "Ali Akbar, God is great," leaves us with a question: could it happen here at an American church, and how safe are we? As a former UK police detective, counter-terrorism manager and church security advisor to some of the largest churches in the country, I want to take some time to answer this question. But first, I want to explain why these incidents are occurring in France to help contextualise it here. So why is France seeing an increase in this style of attack? It's a deep question, but to gain insight we have to go back to 2015 when 17 people died in a terrorism incident. This centred on the French magazine Charlie Hebdo, but for a long time has portrayed the Prophet Muhammad in a negative context. The trial for the people responsible for that act is underway, and France is seeing an increase in terrorism incidents as the trial proceeds. If you want to learn more of this history, Google Charlie Hebdo Muhammad cartoons. So to answer the question of could this happen here, I want to take us back to another incident in France, actually not too far from this incident that occurred in 2016, when a Catholic priest was killed inside his church at the hands of ISIS. I actually wrote about it in my book, Securing Church Operations. In July of 2016, 2 teenage boys walked into a small Catholic church in the French town of Saint-Étienne-du-Rouvray, around 40 miles west of Paris. It was a little after 9 a.m. when priest Jacques Hamas, aged 86, was delivering the morning mass when he had his throat slit by one of the boys and he died almost instantly. The 2 attackers were revealed to be Islamic terrorists who entered via an insecure rear door of the church, shouting Ali Akbar, meaning God is the greatest. Ali Akbar has been shouted during several high-profile terrorist attacks where the attackers wished to be identified as the Islamic extremist group. It was determined during the investigation that the attack was pre-planned. The church had been targeted before the attack, and the attackers knew the rear door to the church would be unlocked, giving them easy access. The attackers had conducted surveillance of the church and determined that the rear door was a vulnerability that they could exploit to gain entry. Unfortunately, this vulnerability is no different to hundreds of churches across the country who leave their doors open. Creating a welcoming atmosphere for everyone, this should serve as a warning to all of us. So what are the behaviours that we saw? Soft target, open door environment, pre-surveillance, verbal warning sign Ali Akbar. And what of the event this week? Soft target, open door environment, verbal warning sign shouting Ali Akbar. It's really simple to answer the question that I posed. Terrorism is global, so it can happen anywhere, but although the risk is low, we should follow these incidents for areas we can improve our own church safety. So here's 4 things I'd recommend that you do today. Number 1, talk with your religious leader and church staff and ask for what if questions. What if this happens? What would we do? My good friend and church consultant Tina Rowe asks, what could go wrong? Remove any denial, hold these difficult conversations today and make them the forefront of your week. Number 2, as with all these incidents, they start with the break-in of the perimeter. Someone has to walk into your building to cause you harm. Discuss which doors are open at your church and why. This is especially important during the week. When a door is open, do everything possible to have a volunteer or church member greet the person or at least be seen by them. Tell that person how you want them to respond when they see things that are out of place. Number 3, challenge all behaviours that are out of place for your environment. Note that I didn't say people, but behaviours. This allows us to show grace for everyone who enters and not discriminate based on colour or ethnicity. Everyone in your church should have the responsibility to help keep your church safe. And number 4, take positive action. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. Let me repeat that. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. Engage all people who enter your church with a warm, "Hello, my name is Simon. What brings you to the church today?" If you sense danger, take action. Only you and your faith community know what response fits within your security culture. But you must have a response. All aspects of your safety plan must be proactive to help minimize risk. And lastly, we should not live in fear of any incident. Just be ready to plan, prepare, and protect. Now, if you need more information on any of the steps that I've spoken, if you go to kingswoodsc.com, I have a free 7 steps that you can download where much of what I've spoken about, the principles are in there. But my prayer and my hope for you is that you do everything possible to help plan, prepare, and protect your ministry.